Rings of Power was an awful series that doesn't deserve another season. No matter how much Amazon damage controls or hide numbers, the truth always finds a way to rear its ugly head, and now we found out that only 37% of viewers actually finished the series, meaning the most expensive TV show ever made couldn't keep viewers entertained. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or a supporter via YouTube memberships. So I wanted to start off with this Bounding into Comics article. Prime Video's The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power lost 63% of its domestic audience according to a new report. It claims that the show saw much of its initial audience completely tune out of the series and never even finish all of the episodes. Now, I watched most of the show because, of course, I talked about it on YouTube. I made videos on it and live streams on it, and I was very disappointed with the content that we got. But funny enough, I actually didn't finish the series because after watching the second to last episode, I was over the Rings of Power. I was bored of it. I was sick and tired of it. And then when the final episode came out, I knew everything that happened. I watched so many clips online. I heard so many people talk about it, and I read so many reports and synopsis on it. I didn't actually get to watch the final episode when it aired, which is hilarious because I am part of the 63% who gave up on this show. I just hated it. I mean, it was an awful series, and I am dreading having to watch a season 2 when it comes out because, of course, I'm talking about it. I try to watch things and give them a chance, and maybe they'll magically fix season 2, but I just don't see that happening. It says this new rumor comes from the Hollywood Reporter's Kim Masters, who claims sources confirm that Rings of Power had a 37% domestic completion rate, customers who watched the entire series. It says, according to Nielsen, the Rings of Power raked in over 1.253 billion minutes viewed in North America when the series' first 2 episodes were released on September 1st, 2022. Now, Amazon has only released one set of numbers officially for the show, and that was regarding the premiere episodes. When they were trying to kind of damage control, they had said, oh, it hit 25 million worldwide viewers, and it's our largest series premiere ever. And of course, that sounded very impressive, but then they didn't update us at all. And of course, we've got numbers from places like Nielsen, but that's it. They haven't said anything else about the show's viewership because, of course, it dropped off. Following the release of the show's 3rd episode, the minutes viewed decreased to 1.203 billion minutes viewed. In its 3rd week, the show's minutes viewed declined even further to 988 million minutes viewed. The downward trend continued in the show's 4th week when it declined to 977 million minutes. The 5th week fell to 966 million minutes, and the show did see a bump following the release of its final episode, which of course isn't that surprising. People usually watch the first few episodes and then decide I'm not going to watch anymore until the whole show is out, and then they kind of come back for the last episode to see what happens and how storylines wrapped up. But this is abysmal for Amazon. The most expensive TV series ever created couldn't keep viewers entertained. And I know that it couldn't keep Tolkien fans entertained because of how much they changed in the vastly different direction that they decided to go in. This show could have been so amazing if they simply stuck to the source material and went into it thinking, how can we make this as Tolkien as possible? And they didn't, because of course they wanted to make this show for modern audiences, and they wanted to, make changes and update the original material, which clearly flopped for them. It says, to put that decline that Masters is reporting into perspective, the first season of Batwoman lost 60% of its premiere audience in its first season, meaning that Rings of Power fell off harder than even Batwoman did. And of course, we are talking millions and millions of differences in numbers. I mean, Batwoman didn't have a premiere episode with 25 million viewers showing up to watch it, if that number is even real, because people do question it, because Amazon never provided any real hard evidence for that. But still, drop-offs like that are not good. It says, though, despite the report, Amazon revealed in their fourth quarter results for 2022 that the Rings of Power attracted more than 100 million viewers worldwide to the first season. They added the series was the most watched Amazon original series in every region of the world, with more than 24 billion minutes streamed, but we also have heard that Amazon is trying to paint this show as a massive success, and they don't care what angle they have to take. They don't care what numbers they have to even twist a little bit. They want to show the world that this series was a massive success, even if we're seeing numbers that show and prove the contrary. I hated the first season, and I honestly don't think that this show deserves a second season. And as far as we know, they are still committed to the 5 that they were rumored to be focusing on. I honestly do not think that they are going to do 5 seasons of this. I think they will cut it at 3. I think after 2 releases, they're going to say, we've decided to make this just a big trilogy event, and then we're going to end it with the next season. I don't see a way that this is getting 5 in total, but of course, I've talked about Rings of Power a lot on the channel. I've talked about how it failed to even break into the top 15 streaming programs of 2022, isn't even the most streamed Prime Video series. That's a big yikes for Amazon. And we also saw that it completely fell off of the Nielsen charts just 2 weeks after the season finale, meaning after the whole show was released, there weren't people who went, you know what, wow, I've heard so much good news about this, I'm gonna give it a chance. Of course, it was terribly rated on things like Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic and IMDb, because people were disappointed with the content we got, but it never picked back up for them, which definitely isn't good considering how much money they threw into this show. Maybe they can magically fix season 2 and make this series good. I highly, highly doubt it. But yeah, things are looking even worse for Amazon than we initially expected, because it lost 63% of its domestic audience. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.